That's the sound of a big deal. At Wayfair, that sound happens a lot. Dream sofa for half the price? Big deal. New dining table you've been eyeing for months? Big deal. Finally picking up those last few pieces and finishing that bedroom? Now that's a really big deal. Whatever your home needs, Wayfair has the selection, the savings, and over millions of 5-star reviews to back it up. Shop Wayfair.com today before someone else snags your big deal.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
What can Henry Ford teach us about success even today? Listen up and find out.
Welcome.
Okay, here's the question.
Serious?
How are we dark horses? You know, the ones everyone is betting against, the ones they don't expect to win, place, or even show on the track, and they'll even laugh on us when we talk about trying. How do we show the world our greatness and triumph?
Come on.
Well, that's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. This is The Dark Horse Entrepreneur. My name is Tracy Brinkman.
And push it up.
Hello, my Dark Horse friends and family. Welcome back to your daily dose of Change My Life in 15 minutes or less learning. I'm your Dark Horse host, Tracy Brinkman. You are infinitely more important. You are a driven entrepreneur, and you are here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart, or just start leveling up with some great marketing, personal, or business tips and results to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. And I am here hitting you with yet another daily success episode on the Dark Horse Entrepreneur as we dive deep into success with actionable advice, tips, and steps designed to help you level up your game because, well, we all know that when it comes to success, there are no real shortcuts except for taking those little steps towards our goal every single day. Now today, we're going to reach back into the early 1900s and get some inspiration from Henry Ford. See, Henry Ford was this iconic American industrialist, business magnate, and founder, vice president, and chief engineer of the Ford Motor Company. And he lived on this great planet from 1863 to 1947. From Henry Ford and his achievements, we can learn so many things about what success is. Like, success is not age dependent. You see, Henry Ford's father gave him a pocket watch when he was only 12. By the age of 15, Ford was disassembling and reassembling the timepieces of many friends and neighbors, right? Dozens of times, pulling them apart, putting them back together. And this gained him the reputation of being the watch repairman. And by 15, he had built his first steam engine. And by 24, he had built a 4-cycle motor. Success is not formal education. Ford's formal education was rumored to be about only 3 years. However, in some of my research that I've go poke around the internet, I did find where he had studied bookkeeping at Goldsmith, Bryant, and Stratton Business College in Detroit shortly after his time in Detroit when he was apprenticing as a machinist. But even still, right, that's not engineering. Success is fueled by failure and cooperation. After 2 unsuccessful attempts to establish a company to manufacture automobiles, Ford teamed up with the likes of C. Harold Willis, an engineer, Henry Leland, a machinist and entrepreneur, Tom Cooper, a racing cyclist, and Alexander Malcolmson, a Detroit coal miner. Now this unlikely band of folks came together, and the Ford Motor Company was finally incorporated in 1903 with Henry Ford as the vice president and chief engineer. Success is problem solving. By early 1914, Ford's innovations in assembly lines had resulted in monthly labor turnover of about 40 to 60% in his factory. He had to hire 300 people just to keep 100 on the floor. Now, this was largely because of the unpleasant monetary monotony, right, of assembly. It's ka-chunka, 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 the same thing over and over and over again. And this work was also compounded by the fact that production quotas kept being increased, directly assigned to the workers. So Ford met this difficulty by a really odd way of doing it. He doubled the wage of what it was to about $5. And then he turned around and cut an hour off the workday. So now his workers are getting paid double anyone else in the market, which was $5 a day. Now, this move, while unorthodox, proved very, well, I'll even say extremely profitable, because instead of having a 40 to 60 hold on, my eye teeth can't see my tongue and I keep tripping. It proved to be very profitable because instead of having that 40 to 60% employee turnover, the best and brightest mechanics in Detroit all flocked to Ford. Well, how is that helpful? Well, this brought him the cream of the crop, the best in human capital, the best in expertise. This raised productivity and lowered training costs. Success is bucking the odds. In 1905, ladies and gentlemen, there were up to 50 startup companies a year trying to get into the automobile business. And here is where Ford succeeded through the steps we already shared. Success is doing what you feel inside is right, despite what all the haters are saying. You see, the Wall Street Journal called Ford's daily wage plan, quote, an economic crime, unquote. And his critics heaped Fordisms on him with equal contempt, right? Meanwhile, in Chicago, a Chicago, Ohio newspaper editorialized the announcement of this wage plan as a shot like a blinding rocket through the dark clouds of the present industrial depression. Two sides of the coin, I guess. So don't always listen to your haters. Success is having goals and seeking out those who can help you with your goals. Remember, as I mentioned back in episode 18, Goal Setting 101, and check that out if you haven't listened to it already, right? As I noted earlier, back in 1903, Ford teamed up with 12 people willing to invest about $28,000 in this fledgling motor company. At that point, Ford had produced the Model 999, which was then taken on tour around the United States to make the Ford brand well known. Then, in 1908, Ford debuted the Model T. 1909, Ford decided to only manufacture one type of car. Yep, that recently introduced Model T, and as we all know, he also gave you your choice of colors. You could have black or black. You see, this and so many other factors like this change automotive history forever. So let's review that real quick, shall we? Success is not age dependent. Success is not formal education dependent. Success is fueled by failure and cooperation. Success is problem solving. Success is bucking the odds. Success is doing what you feel is right despite all your haters. And success is having goals and seeking out those that can help you with them. And then finding what you can do to help them. Now tomorrow, we're going to chat about the purpose of objections. I know, you object to this, but that's exactly why we need to chat about it. All right. What do you need to do? That's right. I need you to get out there, run your race, get your results, and let me hear about them. Until tomorrow, think successfully and take action.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.